from the cupboard and put it somewhere to show up that they are using it, you know. But they never would give it away. And now believe me, if it is a handmade carpet on which the grandmother maybe worked for 1 or 2 years to finish it, this is the valuablest stuff you can get from your family, you know, because you will use it for many years. You will probably pass it to your next generation, and it will always be a memory. It will always be the carpet your grandmother made, you know. And so this is really essential part of Turkish culture and traditions. We are trying to keep it, but it gets more and more difficult to find young people who are willing to learn this profession. And so these very fine ones, I don't know if you ever heard about the very fine carpets. It's not only carpets for the floor. In this place you are going to see carpets hanging on the walls like paintings. One of this kind got registered in the Guinness Book of World Records. It has on a square centimeter, 20 by 20 knots. This is unbelievable. 20 by 20 knots on a square centimeter. This piece is a world record piece, and it is registered in an edition of the Guinness Book of World Records. Finest handmade carpet in the world. These are the ones you hang on the wall like a painting. And believe me, this people started recent years. When I started my guiding career 20 years ago, this was already existing. In those days we were saying, yeah, it's the finest ones and it's for hanging on the walls. It's not just useful, it's decorative and so on. But nowadays, years later, I think a lot of people are aware that this handcraft one day finally will die out. One day finally, at least the ones from which we say the finest ones, because they take the hardest work. Regular ones, wool, cotton ones, is much easier to weave, takes less time, and of course has a much bigger market. But these finest ones nowadays are considered to be investments for the future, because people believe that one day there will no weavers be anymore able to weave these finest carpets. And so once it becomes rarer, when the production goes down, of course the price, the value will go up, because these are really kind of collector pieces, and this is considered to be a great investment for the future, because handmade carpets are an investment anyway. So if a carpet gets in a higher age, it doesn't lose value, its value goes up. A carpet is already considered to be antique. I mean, this in this case is only the word. When it's like 100 years old, it becomes an important collector piece. And maybe you have noticed internationally, you can find auction houses where sometimes it's handmade carpets sold for millions. But here, of course, we are not talking about millions. I would say that there are really reasonable prices, and this is prices in other countries. You can get handmade, machine-made carpets for these prices. I think it's pretty reasonable and very popular, and it is of course a great advantage to purchase a carpet here in the country where it is produced, because so you don't have the costs with many dealers until it gets to your country, and it's not sold in a shop downtown area. Most often carpet shops you find in downtown areas. Most often it's very fine and expensive pieces in their windows. So generally the image is, oh, handmade carpet must be expensive. It's not. You'll see. They have a very big collection. Of course they have very fine and expensive pieces, but I would say that there are lots of carpets who are just beautiful and very reasonable. So actually we talk about an handcraft which is existing since thousands of years. I yesterday mentioned about the one they found in a grave, in a tomb in the Altai mountains, And this is one which today is exhibited in the Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg. It was dated to the 5th century BC. So, and of course, there is so much I could give you, I could tell you about handmade carpets, but actually it's not necessary, because we are going to see a demonstration, we are going to see a presentation, and of course there will be an expert who is going to give us information, and you can of course ask your questions, and I think it gives the people really a great time, a great experience. Is not just looking at carpets, it can even be educational. But there is one thing, I think it's much different than in Turkey, in your country, than here in Turkey. I hope you don't mind if I do a comparison to Germany again, but when I was living in Germany, of course we used to go shopping, and I remember they used to have a big department stores, for example, in which sections, each floor, one floor for men, one floor for women, right? Do you have this kind of big shops, department stores in your country? So I remember when we went in such a store, it was quite possible to walk around hours without getting interrupted by a salesperson, right? Is that the same in Norway? So that exactly is the feedback I got from my previous groups as well. So I think it's not much different than in Germany. So normally I think you are used, if you go in a shop, to have a look around without having one who comes immediately and ask you how you are, where you're from, what you need. If you say you don't need, they ask you why not. If you say you don't want to buy, they ask you why don't you buy. So look, this is very important. Before you take it wrongly, I would like to inform the ones who are especially first time in a kind of place like this, or maybe even first time in Turkey, but here in Turkey we have a different mentality. And you are not used to this mentality, as we are not used to your mentality. You know, when I guide a Turkish group, I come in the bus, it's noisy, I need time to calm them down and to make them quiet and start listening, you know. But when I turn on the microphone with a Norwegian group, with a German group, they immediately stop talking. So completely a different mentality, and I think it's important to prepare you for that. Because let me give you an example, not my own experience, but I have some very good friends. They do guiding Turkish people to other countries. He recently told us a story when he guided a Turkish group to Germany, and they went into a shop where there was no salespeople at all coming to the people to serve them. The group went out. They thought this must be a bad quality place. What kind of place is it? Nobody welcomes you. Nobody gives you help immediately. This is what Turkish people are not used to, as like you are not used to this kind of salespeople. Different characters, mentality, of course different sales techniques. Look, they know you are from Norway. They are expecting us, of course. Today we got timings, so we can't appear whenever we wish. That would end in a chaos. So of course we have a timing. They know now we are on the way, and they know you are from Norway. They will ask you, because you know when you are walking around, they come and ask you how you are, where you're from, to start a small talk, in order to find out if you are interested in a purchase. Be aware, this is not unpolite. You know what's unpolite? I tell you, and this is what I see many times. Even I do this speech to almost every group, because I want you to leave this place happy. And I want them to be happy with you. But if one comes to start a small talk and does what he does just because he wants to be polite, hey, how are you? I'm not gonna buy anything, is not the answer for how you are. Am I right? Do you agree? I think they're just doing their job. Of course it's different than you go shopping in your country, but if one asks me, I tell him first, thank you, I'm fine, how are you? After 2 minutes, you still can say you don't want to buy anything. Nobody is gonna get forced to buy. But they will bring in raki, bottles of raki, they will lock the doors and nobody gets out until the contracts are signed. No, please don't mind my jokes, but nowadays we live in a time when people do reviews on internet. Okay, so very in the beginning of the tour, I told you about the program and that this is part of the program and it's scheduled with the time and everything. Okay, so this everyone accepted when you booked this, and there is a lot of people who come, they accepted the conditions, they booked it, they are here, but then they start, can't we skip it? I don't like it, and start complaining. And in the moment we tell them, no, we can't skip it, this is part of the program, we'll do it, and then it takes 2 hours, sometimes even longer. And these people, even they have accepted when they booked it, they go on the internet and they make reviews, and in the internet you only see the negative reviews. You never search for a positive review. 100 negative reviews, 1 positive or 2. That's the internet. And then they start writing things like, they put the people in rooms, lock the doors. What a nonsense. What a nonsense. Look, I experienced people who bought a carpet and told me inside, Volkan, don't tell anybody. I don't want the group to learn about it. But I have experienced people who came in the bus and walking through the corridor, they told everyone what kind of carpet they bought and how much they paid. What I'm trying to say is some people, they like to keep a private atmosphere. When they are doing negotiations, when they are thinking, it's better not to get interrupted and disturbed. So that's why there are separate rooms. And if one is interested in a purchase, they take them in a room where there is no others and where they can have a quiet time to decide. That's it. Nobody gets locked up, and just in case you looked for reviews, if you read something like that, it's just nonsense. It's all fair, and believe me, this is a legitimate place. With the government support, with local support of local politics, is an employee of, I don't know, hundreds of people, and this is a place which is existing much longer than my guiding career is. I know that this place is one of the biggest carpet places in Turkey, and the route on which we are driving is a dense traffic between Denizli and Antalya. Used to be a very important traditional trade route. Nowadays we can say turned to a touristic route, and so it's groups coming here since decades, and it's absolutely a legitimate place. It's the building which now appears over there, right hand side, quite a big building, ladies and gentlemen, and we start at the bottom floor in a small room in which there is a kind of exhibition. We can see lots of photos, and this is where an expert is going to welcome us. His name is Tarkan, and he is going to start giving you information. While he is giving information in that first room, there you can watch ladies weaving on carpets, and you can get a feeling of how hard work it is, and maybe you like to try doing a knot, and you will see that it really is hard work. If you do it for many hours every day, it really is a hard work. After the beginning in that small room, they will take you upstairs You'll walk through the building to the upper floor, and then you go into a larger room where there is seats and everyone's going to take a seat. Soon they are going to offer some drinks, and then they start presenting handmade carpets, different sizes, different qualities, different colors, patterns. There is such a big variety, so if one really is interested in purchasing a handmade carpet, this is the perfect place. Here you can, of course, buy a carpet, and this carpet would be delivered to your home. Please don't believe that you would take the carpet home to Norway yourself. I think some of you did buy carpets in Turkey. Anyone here? Yeah? So they will confirm what I say now. You agree about the price. And until you agree, you negotiate about the price. Everyone who's interested in a purchase, you save money by negotiating. Don't take the carpet for the price they tell you first. This price always is the base for the negotiations. And they like to impress by saying a high price and giving a big discount. Sometimes people say, why? But others say, oh, I've made such a good negotiation. So negotiating, bargaining, this is a must, okay? Never accept the first price they say. Try to bargain the price down. Give me a minute, I'll preparing you. If you like to buy a carpet, you agree about the price here, and then the carpet will be delivered to your home. And you don't pay anything extra for the transportation, for the tax, and for anything else. The price you pay here, the carpet gets delivered to your home in Norway. The costs for the transportation, for the insurance of the transportation and all this company pays because they get it back as a refund for the exportation from the state. And this is the great advantage. So people like to shop carpets. Many times I've seen people buy carpets here or elsewhere, and this is a great advantage, I think. So right inside is the door, we go in, that's the room we start, and everything else they are going to explain inside. If you like to leave stuff here in the bus, you can do so. It will be round about 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen. So look, first of all, informational part, down here and upstairs, this is round about 1 hour. Afterwards, they will say there is now around 1 hour time to have a look around. For those who are interested in a purchase, sometimes this is even not enough time. So after this 1 hour runs out, I'm going to check the situation, and I'll see if there is couples in rooms deciding, trying to negotiate, and not yet ready after 1 hour passes by. I will not interrupt immediately. I will see how is the situation, but I think it will be around about 2 hours. Sometimes it goes a little bit up to 2 hours 15, 2 hours 20, but then we are going to leave. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Let's shop the place empty here.